So it looks like the Rocky Balboa of last night's debates came out swinging and came out on top. Hi, everybody. It is Jason Burmis here. And if you watched the debates last night, maybe even came over to the channel, you know I did a complete breakdown of everything that went down on these debates, top to bottom, every single candidate, what I liked about Tulsi, what I didn't like about Tulsi. But here's the news. The American people liked what Tulsi had to say. And even though Chuck Todd tried to attack her, it didn't work. She ran away with the debate despite having one of the lowest actual times. First poll has Tulsi Gabbard as the shock winner. Not shocking to me. It actually encourages me that there's enough of a base out there. There's enough people out there right now who are so fed up and sick and tired with establishment politics and war that it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. She got nearly 40% of the vote. Now, although Warren came in second place, that's a distant second, and they had to give her at least 3 to 4 times as much talk time as Gabbard. It was very, very clear. You know, they gave Warren a ton of time. They gave Booker a ton of time. They gave Beto a ton of time. They can't sell that robot. That dog don't hunt, okay? It's awful. And that Amy Klobuchar, or whatever her name is, they tried to give her a lot of time too. Also didn't work out. So take a look. Gabbard ran away with this. Ran away. And why is this encouraging? Well, first of all, it shows a groundswell that maybe people that were not aware of her. There are 20 candidates. We're going to be watching the debates tonight, doing another AMA broadcast afterwards, breaking down all the ins and outs. But it shows that people don't want war with Iran. She is the only one that vocalized that, by the way. Only one. Now, you had Tim Ryan in Ohio hawking big time at one point. Hawking big time. I mean, really hawking. When they started talking about Afghanistan and leaving Afghanistan, for instance, Rachel Maddow, when she asked the question, she tried to pose it almost as she was anti-war, like she was the anti-war stance. She's like, why is it that the Obama administration and now the Trump administration can't seem to get us out of Afghanistan? Gee, I wonder. I wonder why. And Tim Ryan starts saying, we need to be engaged. Nobody wants to hear this, but we need to be engaged. Hey, guys, take a look, okay? It's been a while. It's been a real long while. We're talking about 18th anniversary coming up in just a couple months, a little over 2. All right? And Afghanistan, Taliban. For instance, Tulsi Gabbard, when he said Afghanistan and then invoked 9/11 on the rebuttal, she said Al-Qaeda. Now, one of the things I didn't like about Gabbard was that she opened with, I joined the military because Al-Qaeda attacked us on 9/11, and then gave her spiel, which is a good spiel. And she was diverting a question on women's equality pay, which was a non-question, the gender gap, if you will. So that was very clever of her, but I did not like that intro. Now, Tim Ryan is going to lie to you in this back and forth with Tulsi on the situation, because he also talked about Iran, even Central America. We need to be engaged, a.k.a. Venezuela, trying to sell that to us as well. Total warmonger. And he starts talking about the $130 million drone. Remember, it was 185, it was 180, it's 110, it's 130. It's a moot point. It's a non-number. It's a robot, okay? And this country has all the money in the world to print for the military-industrial complex. So when he tells you that Trump's not protecting our drones and we could have used that $130 million on health, no, we couldn't have. We would never be allowed to. I wish we would. I wish we would use it on programs for the people, but that's not what this is about. It's never been about that. All right? So the establishment does not like the fact that nobody even came close. 38.75%. Let's go through these candidates here. The Weasel, Cory Booker, the most establishment hack nonsense mother trucker out there, couldn't even muster 4%. Castro, who was even less known than Booker, and Booker's had a national stage for some time trying to propagate the Russia nonsense, he gets 4%. De Blasio somehow came across better than most with almost 8%. I thought he was insane. He talked about a 70% tax rate for people making more than $10 million a year. That's insanity. Listen, let's get the corporations to just pay the same 28 to 35% that we all pay, and it'll be fine. It'll be a gravy train with biscuit wheels. John Delaney. He was the guy that surprised me. They kept cutting him off. I did not like what he had to say about a carbon tax. Everybody was on the climate change train, except Tulsi didn't really elaborate when that subject came in. So at a whopping 38.75%, more than 3 times what the second place Warren, who they let open and close the debate, by the way. Open and close the debate. Elizabeth Warren gave her all the time in the world. She had 3 times more. Media does not like this. Jay Inslee, I mean, just about as far left as you could get. Climate change, paid abortions, please bring refugees into my state. Mustered less than 6. Amy Klobuchar, they tried to push her less than 6%. Beta. I mean, again, he looked like a pale, scared child up there in the beginning with all the, and then there was the Spanish pandering. None of it worked. You got 4%, brah. Tim Ryan, warmonger, 7%. Weird. You know, the warmonger still gets 7%, and he was the most vocal of all warmongers. But there you are. Elizabeth Warren, 12%. So, not only did Gabbard win the poll, let's get things straight, okay? She was the most searched for Democratic candidate after. She had the 3rd lowest speaking time. And her sister pointed out, while this was going on via her Twitter account, that it was obvious that they wanted Warren to win. Oh, it must have been on the Fox one right here. It was obvious they wanted Warren to win because they're giving her more time than all the other candidates combined. They aren't giving any time to Tulsi. Doesn't matter. Tulsi's still the most searched Democratic candidate after the debate. She poses, and she's not perfect. We're going to go into some of her flaws in a moment. She poses the largest threat to the establishment out of all 20 candidates. She's far from perfect. I don't like the term regime change wars. I don't like her stance on torture. I don't like her backing down from some of the things that she earlier said about Syria and Assad and then backtracked. She was the only one to call out Mattis in the Duma attack before we launched missiles. You got to give her credit where credit is due. You know, these aren't black and white issues. There is a lot of gray. She is a CFR member. I think she's given a decent answer on why she's a CFR member. But now look at all this spin. She dominates by 3+ times Elizabeth Warren, the next closest, gets almost 40% in a pool of 10. Think about how dominant that is. She's the dominator of last night. The week, why Tulsi Gabbard's post-debate Google spike should come with a grain of salt. They want to spin this so bad. They want to spin her losing this so bad. Look at this hack establishment publication. What are they talking about? E. Jean Carroll. E. Jean Carroll after that, promoting that nonsense. If you want to see a video on that, go check it out. I broke that down quite a bit. So once again, guys, Tulsi Gabbard is the winner. I don't think she's a shock winner. When you try to sell somebody like Robert O'Rourke, Beto O'Rourke, someone who's not only an establishment hack, a lot of people don't know this, he's an ex-hacker. He's an ex-hacker that was compromised by the FBI. Go look into it. He's part of a big hacking group. And they couldn't get this guy to win a Senate seat. I mean, I don't even think he should be in the next round of debates. Let's cut the field to 10 after, maybe the first 2 of these. Let's have another round of 2 where it's 10 and 10. I'd like to see Delaney move on. It's very obvious who the establishment wants to move on. The Warrens, the Bookers. They tried to sell that Amy Klobuchar, can't do it. Pete Bootlicker is another one I think they're going to try to sell you. Bernie Sanders, another one they're going to try to sell you. And they tried to make a lot of these things about divisive race issues and gender issues. For instance, Chuck Todd tried to attack Tulsi Gabbard because of her previous stances on the LGBTQYXZLMNOPO community. And she answered with the political answer and apologized and said she no longer holds those views. And Booker, that's not enough! Booker, the hack, Booker, That's not enough. And then he started talking about, trans children. I'm just going to leave it at that. So in a lot of ways, I think most of these people have lost an incredible amount of touch. I think that Tulsi Gabbard is obviously the closest to reality when we're talking about regular people. They don't want war anymore. They want out of Afghanistan. When when that guy brought up the drone and she said, look, we had 2 people killed in Afghanistan just this week, and you tell that to their mothers, their fathers, their families. It's ridiculous. And the only thing is that, listen, it's all predicated on bullshit. It's all predicated on a lie. Please watch my films. They're all free. I have a playlist, actually, over on my channel. If you go over here to my playlists, instead of just my videos, you can go, where is it? It's in the documentary section right here. All my documentaries, including Fabled Enemies, Loose Change Final Cut is in there. I'm not sure if the second edition is, but Shade the Motion Picture is. There's plenty of films that will describe to you what's really going on in the world, and especially in the quote-unquote war on terror. So if you're not subscribed, please do so now. Join the Burmis Brigade. We're doing 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 videos a day. I'm going to be on the Tinfoil Hat podcast with Sam Tripoli later this afternoon coming up. Looking forward to that. And guys, I am 100% on my own. I'm doing one thing. It is GoFundMe. I'm trying to raise $5,000 a month. Every month I'm going to be putting one of these up. The next one is scheduled for mid-July, so we're doing actually very well. I thank everybody that has contributed. Look, it's real media. It's not about left or right. It's about right and wrong. It's about the truth. And we're going to call Tulsi Gabbard out on things that we don't agree with, but we're going to promote the things that we do agree with, and we're going to break things down honestly. Like I said, tonight I'll be watching the debates again. We're going to do another Ask Me Anything where you guys can participate if you come in live. So I think it starts at 9, ends at 11. We'll be up and run by 11:05, 11:15. Please join us. And anything helps, guys. $5, $10, $15 one-time donations. I really do appreciate it. It's what's going to keep this media alive and let me produce 30 to 50 quality videos a week. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Burmis Brigade forever. We'll see you soon.